तेरी कैसी है?
निभाए अपनी जिम्मेदारी, एनएसएसओ को दें सही जानकारी।
मेरा वंश आ गया।
मैं उस युग पुरुष के दर्शन करने आया हूँ जिसने यहाँ पुत्र बनकर जन्म लिया।
ये कोई ज्ञानी वैरागी नहीं होगा मुनिवर, ये बुद्ध नहीं योद्धा होगा, योद्धा।
राजन, तेरा पुत्र सन्यासी ही बने।
सिस्का एलईडी लाइट्स प्रेजेंट्स बुद्ध पावर्ड बाय क्रिस्टल, कल सुबह 11 बजे जी टीवी पर।
Papa, remember? You had promised to take me to the park.
Sure, beta. Let's go now.
Oh, again the boring traffic.
No problem. We'll take the new flyover.
Papa, who built the flyover?
I made it, beta.
But how did you?
We pay taxes to the government, and the government makes flyovers, schools, hospitals, and many more things for us.
Wow, nice. Papa, metro. Who made this?
I did, by paying taxes.
Oh, just like the flyovers in schools.
Yes, absolutely, beta.
Wow, what a beautiful park.
Yes, who made this?
Did you make this too?
Absolutely, by paying taxes.
So, Papa, do you pay tax?
Of course. Every year, and that too before time.
Papa, you're the best.
Pay your advance tax on or before the 15th of this month. Invest in your taxes. Be a part of a progressive India.
मेरा वंश आ गया।
मैं उस युग पुरुष के दर्शन करने आया हूँ जिसने यहाँ पुत्र बनकर जन्म लिया।
ये कोई ज्ञानी वैरागी नहीं होगा मुनिवर, ये बुद्ध नहीं योद्धा होगा, योद्धा।
राजन, तेरा पुत्र सन्यासी ही बने।
सिस्का एलईडी लाइट्स प्रेजेंट्स बुद्ध पावर्ड बाय क्रिस्टल, कल सुबह 11 बजे जी टीवी पर।
Money, it's what makes the world go round. Find out how global fund managers get on top of their game by making their money go around the world. Understand money allocation trends across asset classes and find out how India competes with other international markets for its share of global money. Catch the FII view only on ET Now.
Brought to you by Shriram City, India's largest small enterprise finance company.
We have a tendency to swing the pendulum too much. When we are great, we'll be the best country in the world. And when something goes wrong, we are underground. So I do believe that the gloom and doom has been a bit overdone. That doesn't mean that we don't have issues.
Catch Aditya Puri in an exclusive conversation on ET Interview. Only on ET Now.
India's top corporate lawyer, that is Cyril Shroff, and he's right here to take us through his insights on the M&A and the deal street. Mr. Shroff, it's good to have you on the show. Big deal has been struck of JP Associates and Ultratech. There have been many deals in the market. Do you see some sense of revival in the M&A space lately?
Generally speaking, yes, there is a fairly high level of M&A activity, both inbound as well as local. At a sort of very high level, some of it is companies cleaning up balance sheets. I won't call it stressed M&A, but in terms of either recapitalizing or refocusing on their businesses, and that may be part of the drivers. Also from a foreign investment perspective, the fact that Indian acquisitions have become cheaper because of the exchange rate, I think is also a contributory factor. So if the activity levels in a law firm are any indication, I think they have gone up.
Right, but don't you think the process that goes on in the negotiations have been taking forever? The JP Birla deal took more than a year. Hexaware Bearings deal that got struck, that also was on the block, Hexaware, for a very long time. So do you think it's taking a lot of time to convert deals at this point, and what are the reasons behind?
I think generally speaking, M&A deals are taking longer across the world. Emerging markets, I think, tend to take a little longer because of the risks and a lot of the regulatory ambiguities that are involved. So in India, I think the regulatory framework is not one of the easiest in the world. There is a lot of grey, whether it's a public market transaction or it's a private transaction. Generally speaking, there are also always diligence issues because of just the business environment. So that does slow down deal making. Apart from that, I think also the bid-offer difference on transactions is only sort of now recently getting sorted out, and there is convergence that is emerging. So these are factors. But from when I talk to my friends, In other markets, I think everybody is complaining about the fact that deal making is taking longer. I don't think that by itself is a cause for alarm, because M&A transactions are always sort of complex and they're bespoke for each transaction separately. So long as a reasonably large deal can get done between 6 to 9 months, it's not a bad thing.
All right, so 6 to 9 months is what you're talking about, fructification of the deal. And also the due diligence, you said, has been taking a lot of time because of various regulatory hurdles. Now, I will come to each one of them one by one. First of all, the Competition Commission of India. That is considered to be a newer subject compared to the other regulatory approvals that we've always had. And in such big deals, and the most recent one being JP Associates and Birla deal, where there is a dominant position or market share being taken over by one of the companies. So have we done enough trial and error as far as the Competition Commission's views are concerned, or is there more clarity required, and is that becoming a deterrent as well?
So again, I'm not going to comment even indirectly on any specific transaction, but it's now a little over 2 years of the Competition Commission merger control regulations, roughly over 120 merger notifications approved. So far, and we've been involved in many of them, everything that has been filed has been approved. The process is not as bad as was originally sort of estimated. Before the regulations came in, there was an apprehension that this is going to slow down M&A activity in India because of the 210-day period and how it's because it's a new subject. But in fact, that has not been the experience.
There have been many regulatory changes in the recent past. How has it posed as a challenge for you as a law firm in getting deals done? And second, what are the new areas and new methods that are now evolving to tackle these issues?
So if we're sort of looking at it from the past till now, some of the big changes have, of course, been the Competition Commission, relatively new takeover regulation code, enormous ambiguity in the foreign investment regime, the FDI regime. These have been some of the big points. Going forward, I think the new Companies Act is going to be a huge issue, because whilst on the one hand there are some provisions which are simplifying the M&A regime and corporate law, but there are others which are also quite complicating. For instance, not having more than 2 layers of subsidiaries is one sort of key issue over there. Or also how corporate funds can be used for using the resources of a parent and using it for M&A activity. So there are lots of such points there. Clearly from a foreign investor's perspective, on see whether India welcomes foreign investment or M&A activity or not, you get extremely confused signals, and which is a deterrent. So there are a lot of targets coming up in India for acquisition, so that's a pro-M&A development, but the complexity of regulation is a dampener for sure.
Are you seeing any bright spots where things are moving towards a better direction, which could give a little more zeal to this particular sector?
In terms of bright spots, I think if you see increase in activity as an outcome, which as a sort of a bright outcome, I think we're definitely seeing that. And we're seeing deals which were hanging fire for a long time are now sort of hurrying towards closure. So I think that's happening.
Do you also see that all this is happening also because of the promoter desperation, because you've held on for too long?
Yes, that's right. That is part of the reason. Not always, but yes, it's one of the factors that is contributing to quicker decision making.
Okay, and in New Companies Act, are there other provisions or are there any other such clauses which are also becoming important for any M&A transaction?
There's a lot. I think the Companies Act, the New Companies Act has it's a mixed bag. It has got some good stuff and it has got things which are going to complicate life enormously.
And so do we see that the timelines for execution, consummation of deals getting extended? And does
but that we think will sort of come into force next year. So at this point of time, it's just on the horizon and everyone is studying it and examining it. Next year will tell us how actually the impact is.
And do the deal dynamics really change? Wanted to get an insight into that, because
I think so.
Such long time.
I think so in terms of how you structure the acquisition vehicle, how you will raise funds for it, the ownership, sort of holding ownership structures, the governance structures of the entity that you're either acquiring or selling. All of that is going to change quite a bit. The kind of agreements that you will enter into, What level of diligence can you do without violating the insider trading code? Will you use a court process, or how effective the NCLT will be? These are all big questions out there.
And are we going to see more domestic players buying into domestic? Because Indian promoters, as the mindset has been, do not want to sell off to another Indian promoter, and also valuation expectation is much higher. Is that now changing, now that we have seen certain examples of that?
It is, in pockets.
And
so there are both buyers and sellers. So you're seeing acquisitive companies as well as companies which need to sell.
Are there people ready to put their money on the table even in this market? And are there now cheap buys expected? Do you see the promoters' aspirations of getting higher valuations changing at all?
There has been an adjustment and more tempering of expectation.
A deal is not a deal till it is done, and even this one will take at least 6 to 9 months from now. Experts don't believe that there's going to be any roadblock from here on. But more importantly, Cyril Shroff mentioned that this deal could be a signal for the revival of M&A streak, and there could be more activities there. We'll surely keep an eye out for that. And thanks so much for watching this special telecast on ET Now. News and updates carry on the other end.
वैसे ये जॉन डे चाहता क्या है?
I'll make sure everybody pays for this. किसके हाथों पे क्या? तुम्हारा बाप जो है उससे मैं मिलना चाहता हूँ. कहानी जहाँ से शुरू हुई थी वहीं खत्म होनी चाहिए.
Papa, remember? You had promised to take me to the park.
Sure, beta. Let's go now.
Oh, again the boring traffic.
No problem. We'll take the new flyover.
Papa, who built the flyover?
I made it, beta.
But how did you?
We pay taxes to the government, and the government makes flyovers, schools, hospitals, and many more things for us.
Wow, nice! Papa, metro. Who made this?
I did, by paying taxes.
Oh, just like the flyovers in schools.
Yes, absolutely, beta.
Wow, what a beautiful park.
Yes, who made this?
Did you make this too?
Absolutely, by paying taxes.
So, Papa, do you pay tax?
Of course. Every year, and that too before time.
Papa, you're the best.
Pay your advance tax on or before the 15th of this month. Invest in your taxes. Be a part of a progressive India.
Pioneer, to engineer, to innovate, to imagine, to fly, to serve, today, tomorrow.
Buying a home means opening the door to long-term financial commitment. Which location, project or builder are you going to put your money and trust into? We'll break down the fine print and help you make your dream come true. On the Property Guide, only on ET Now.
Presented to you by Nerolac XL with Weather Defense Formula. Powered by OLX Pe Bech De. In association with Baba Ilaichi, the freshness of life.
This is the Times Television Network, and you're watching ET Now.
हेलो एंड वेलकम. आप देख रहे हैं बाजार अगले हफ्ते ET नाउ पर और मैं हूं अजय शर्मा.
वेलकम एवरीवन, मैं हूं मेघा चड्ढा. वेल, इस हफ्ते बाजार ऑफ कोर्स काफी इंटरेस्टिंग रहा. हमने 3% के आसपास की बढ़ोतरी देखी है और मार्केट्स और पूरे बाजार और स्टॉक्स को डिस्कस करने के लिए आज हमारे शो पर है हमारे साथ HDFC सिक्योरिटीज के विनोद शर्मा और टेक्निकल्स के बारे में बात करने के लिए कुणाल सरावगी, equityrrush.com से.
लेकिन बड़ी तस्वीर अगर देखें मार्केट की तो इस बार हमने करीब 3% की तेजी देखी है। निफ्टी और मिड कैप स्टॉक्स दोनों 3-3% गेन किए हैं, बट काफी वॉलेटाइल था। इनफैक्ट निफ्टी करीब 200 पॉइंट की रेंज में ट्रेड होता रहा और काफी ज्यादा क्लोजर ऑफ लॉन्ग पोजीशंस हमने देखे। 5900 के ऊपर काफी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आती हुई नजर आई।